Hey guys, this is Ryan and Ashley Shepard here in Maryville, Tennessee, and we are so excited to kick this webinar off. We are all fresh from Australia, and we got so much great inspiration from this amazing diamond trip. And of course, we were there with our platinum leaders, Lois and Laramie, and diamond leaders, Rachel and Josh. And this was ours and Rachel and Josh's first diamond trip that we've ever been a part of. And so we walked away just really excited about kind of a more of a vision of what AdvoCare is in our life, and we're just ready to pour into you guys. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. And the first slide here that I want to talk on, once I can get it. Okay, so here, this is very important, and you may be a new advisor excited about building your business. You may be a part of AdvoCare for a year, maybe you've been a part of AdvoCare for 2 years, the same amount of time that Ryan and I. But I want to show you when you hit the advisor level, when you hit that 40% off for life, you start to get paid 5 different ways. And you know, we train on this, and maybe you have heard this over and over and over, but I want you to look at number 5, pay period bonuses and incentives. And when Charlie Regis created this company, you know, almost 23 years ago, he said, "We will walk the beaches of the earth together." And when he said that, and he put the number 5 in there, he meant that for everybody. And I know for me, when I started AdvoCare in 2012, my vision wasn't to visit Australia or to go on some amazing trip. My vision was just to lose weight and feel better. And I'll never forget when I watched Lois and Laramie earn their first incentive trip to the Biltmore in Arizona, and I kept thinking, wow, they get this, you know, trip paid for, and then all of a sudden AdvoCare launched a trip to Hawaii. And I looked at that trip and I thought, why not? This opportunity is at my fingertips, and I have watched my mentors, Lois and Laramie, earn a trip. Why can't I earn this trip? And so I saw a vision right away that I was going to take advantage of that number 5, and I really think it's a decision that you can make, because this opportunity is there for everybody, and these trips are there for everybody. And you know, I know for me, a lot of times people can look at number 5, whether somebody told you or whether you thought in your own mind that these are, you know, the number 5, that's for those people, or that's not something attainable for me, or I could never do that. I want you right now, you've got to talk back to those voices, or if someone's telling you that, that is just completely wrong, and we are here to speak it with strength, that anyone can earn these trips. The number 5 there is for a reason, and that is for you to earn it. That is for you to work really hard. The next trip that you can earn is the Caribbean Adventure. If you are an advisor, you have time right now to earn this trip. You can start working today, and you can be on that boat, and you have an opportunity to take advantage of the 5th way you get paid. And we are here to speak it with strength, because these trips are amazing. You'll see beautiful things, but the biggest thing is you're around amazing people that is going to help you become an amazing leader, and then you're going to be able to travel the world for free, which is absolutely amazing. So I want to show you this picture that was in the resort that we stayed in Australia, and start off with protecting this house. So we stayed in, it's called Qualia Resort, and AdvoCare actually rented this whole resort out. But to get to the resort, you have to open these big gates, and it kind of reminded us of Jurassic Park. But when you open these gates, it is lush, it is green, it is beautiful. There's wild wallabies jumping around everywhere. There's beautiful birds. There's the ocean, amazing pool. I mean, it is literally looks like, I mean, I was almost blown away. It almost took my breath away how beautiful it was. But you see the sign there, Qualia guests only. This gate only opens up to people that have the key. People that can enter this gate is only allowed. So when we rented out that whole resort, no one else other than the staff workers, or if you were part of AdvoCare, were allowed in. And that's important, because there's a purpose behind this beautiful resort. And think about your AdvoCare business. There is a purpose behind how AdvoCare was built by Charlie Regis. He built a legacy business, and there's rules, there's regulations, there's a success system to be used to be successful. And us as leaders, when we say yes to AdvoCare, we have that responsibility to keep it the way it was designed to be, so we can build a business that can be passed on, that can be a legacy business, because AdvoCare is beautiful. It gives hope, it gives value to yourself and also to other people if you take advantage of that. And so every single time we swiped our card and those big gates open, and we drove our little golf cart into these gates, and we saw every single time, all I kept picturing is that we have got to start giving this card out to everybody we know, so they have the opportunity to swipe their cards and see the beautiful part that AdvoCare can be for their life, because these trips were designed for everyone to be a part of. This vision that we want to cast for you tonight is a part of everybody, and so we have to make sure that we protect this house and we allow these gates to be open to everyone. And so the next little sign that we saw was there's wild wallabies jumping around and some animals, koala bears, and so this sign was there: never attempt to feed the animals. They are wild creatures with natural diets and should not be made dependent on handouts. And, you know, when we saw this sign, we thought this was a very good training moment, because AdvoCare is a work-based company, and we want to grow leaders in this company. And Lois and Laramie and Rachel and Josh and Ryan and I, we want to grow leaders. We want to go on these trips with you guys, and we want everyone to know that's on this webinar that it is a work-based company, and if you put some time and consistent effort in this business and you do it the right way, then you can be there too. This is not anything that's ever going to be handed to you on a silver platter. We want to make that clear. We want to make sure that you grow as a leader, and the one way you can grow as a leader is to earn these trips to be around people who's been a part of AdvoCare for 10 years, 15 years, 30 years. I'll never forget just sitting with Crystal Thurber at dinner one night in Australia, and she told me she has earned 40 AdvoCare trips, and that just blew my mind, because here I am on my first diamond trip, and I'm just blown away with how beautiful and how wonderful everything was. But when I heard her say that, I thought, I've got to work harder. I have got to work harder, because I want to be just like her. And I saw more of a vision for my life. In 2012, my vision was to get the laundry done and lose weight. But AdvoCare, just like those gates open, AdvoCare opened up a whole new world for me, which in turn opens up a whole new world for my boys, who right now are ages 3 and 6. But you better believe that we are speaking with, if you work hard in AdvoCare, you can see the world, because AdvoCare can provide that for you. And this trip has been an amazing, kind of like if you timelined your AdvoCare journey, there's certain parts in your journey that your heart just explodes. And what this trip did for Ryan and I was it expanded our vision that we want other people on these trips with us, and we want to grow leaders. We don't want to just give out handouts. What we want to do is we want to duplicate ourselves, because I am here to speak it with strength, guys. If little Ryan and Ashley Shepard, a stay-at-home mom, can earn these trips, anybody can. And so we want to teach you how to do this correctly, so you can open up and walk into these gates and see something so beautiful and be around people that have the life that you want to continue to have. And I think that's important, because I know sometimes building this business and living your life and raising your kids, it can get overwhelming. But guess what, guys? If we can stay focused on walking into those gates and stay focused on what AdvoCare has already provided us, and you can take advantage of that 5th way to get paid in AdvoCare, it is going to expand your heart, expand your vision, and you are going to want to bring everybody along with you, just like we do. So I want to introduce to you Rachel Witt, who is going to come up next. And it was such a blessing. I did not know who she was 2.5 years ago, and we are traveling the world together. And I love just being in her presence and just hearing her passion that she has for life and for her business. And so I know that she's got great things. So Rachel, take it away.
Good Hey, Ash. Thank you so much. I am so excited, guys, to share with you all about Australia. And I know you are impressed right now. So just get ready because I know Ashley Shepherd's Australian accent was very impressive. I know mine sounds really great. I mean, we were really hoping that would be the souvenir we would bring home is an Australian accent. But anyway, my husband delicately told me while we were there that to them, they don't have an Australian accent. They just talk normal. We are the ones with an accent. But anyway, Lois and Laramie, I'm sure, will just blow you away with their Australian accents tonight. But anyway, it's so good to share with you all. I have to tell you that one of the best parts about trips with AdvoCare is that you are truly able to just step away for a moment and reflect. Sometimes we get so busy with life and so busy with our business that we don't take time to do that normally. And for me, that was something that was so beautiful about this trip, is being 15 hours different from the East Coast in America. It was an opportunity for us to just really reflect, and that's where all of these leadership nuggets are coming from, is that we were just seeing them everywhere and everything we were doing. And one of the things that Josh and I got to do is we had a helicopter ride that was over the Great Barrier Reef. And so these are two of the pictures I took with my cell phone. And I want you all to lift the lid for your life right now. I want you all to think about those things in your life that are those bucket list things for you. Now, I know for me, I know a lot of people who would say that Australia is really at the top of their bucket list. And I think a lot of Americans feel that way because it's not close. It's not convenient for us to get there. But we did get to go, and that was one thing that was the number one thing on my husband's bucket list, was to go to Australia. And we didn't just go. We got to go to an extraordinary trip and do every single thing that you could possibly want to do in Australia we got to do, including the Great Barrier Reef. Changing your perspective, changing our perspective for us, meant that we got to do something that he had always wanted to do, checking it off that list, and looking out in this helicopter ride and looking at the Great Barrier Reef, not from below with Finding Nemo, and we did see a manta ray, which was pretty neat, not from below. We got to go above the reef. We got to see this wonder of the world that's actually about the size of Japan. We got to do something that was totally above and beyond even what we ourselves could ever have dreamed of. And the cool thing is that AdvoCare is that opportunity that's going to allow you to take something that you want to do or something that you need to do and make it extraordinary. Changing the perspective for us was earning a trip that allowed my husband to live out a dream. What is it for you all right now that you have on a bucket list that AdvoCare can be the opportunity to allow you to live that dream? And the thing for me, I remember the first call I listened to, like day 2 as a distributor. I listened to a new distributor training that Lois and Laramie were doing. And I heard Lois say, "Why not you?" And that lit me up. I thought, well, I don't know who you are or what AdvoCare is really, but why not me? Here we go. We're going to make this the opportunity that is the answer to what we're really hoping for. And so to look at 2 years ago what that moment was, and to see our perspective now, means that Charlie Regis nailed it. He wanted an opportunity for ordinary people to be able to do something extraordinary, to take a bucket list and say, I'm not just going to Australia, I'm not just going to the Great Barrier Reef, I'm not just going to Sydney or the Sydney Opera House, I'm not just doing those things. I'm going to do those things in an extraordinary way. And for us really reflecting on that, I asked my husband, I said, Josh, when do you think we would actually have been able to do this? Like, if without AdvoCare being part of our lives, when would we have been able to go to Australia and do the Great Barrier Reef or whatever we wanted to do? When could we have done it? And he said, well, We probably would have saved for several decades, and if we could have gone at all, we would have gone in much later years, like 3 or 4 decades from now. And so we would be in our 60s or 70s. And so looking at retirement, things like that. So how extraordinary. Flip your perspective right now. All of those things that are on your bucket list, what if you didn't have to wait? What if you didn't have to wait until you were in your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whenever your adventure, whenever that is for you? What if you didn't have to wait? What if wherever you are in your life right now, you could flip that perspective and say, you know what? I think the AdvoCare is that opportunity that's going to allow me to do it now, or to do it in 5 years instead of 25 years. So flip your perspective, knowing that it's an effort-based program. You've heard Ashley say that. But what if you could just make one little tweak, and those dreams that are someday dreams for you truly become the life you're living today? And I've told several people this, that it felt like someone had picked me up by my shirt and dropped me into somebody else's life, being in Australia for a week. And that's really how it felt, until I had a moment where I said, Rachel Wick, get real. This is your life. This moment is your moment. This is what you've worked for. You're not in someone else's life right now. Change your perspective, because this is it. And so my encouragement to you is that you would just lift that lid. That whatever your bucket list is, that you wouldn't say, you know what, I'm going to wait 30, 40 years in order to be able to do that. But looking at this opportunity as being something that will allow you to live your dreams today, it truly is. And that leads me into my next slide, because honestly, sharing the full message is sharing about lifting the lid. We want to be able to talk about a Plan B income with our new business builders. That is life-changing. Most people can wrap their minds around supplemental income, whether that's a few $100s a month, $500 a month, or even a couple $1,000s a month. We can all wrap our minds around Plan B income. What is fun for me is, like, I just did a 3-way phone call before this webinar, and when I was on that phone call, we talked about Plan B. What is it for retirement that you want that constant stream of income pouring in when retirement may or may not be there for you? What is your Plan B when life happens? When your spouse gets sick, or your kids want to do sports that you didn't realize were so expensive, or if your parents need help, or if your grandparents need help in an assistant living place. You know, what is that Plan B, and what would supplemental income really do in your life? What would it do if you wanted to fix the roof before it truly leaks? Supplemental income can be that way. I remember living a life where I would say, okay, we're going to wait for our birthdays because we know we're going to get a couple checks from our grandparents, and we'll use those things to pay off this. That was our hamster wheel. Or we were hoping that if my husband reffed enough football games at night that we could pay that off with whatever. Right? And so we were really living in that, okay, let's wait for this moment where we're going to get this money and we'll pay off that. So the thought of having a constant stream of income pouring in was very attractive to us. So we want to share the whole entire part, the whole entire opportunity of AdvoCare. We want to share how to get involved. We want to share the relationships. We want to share and speak with strength and life that people really can and are doing these things. What is your Plan B? We want to talk about every piece of AdvoCare, getting to leadership school, getting to success school. That is sharing the full message of AdvoCare. You know, I think about one of the champions on our team. Her name is Angela Meir. And I remember having this conversation with her in February of last year when she said, yes, I would love to earn extra income with AdvoCare. And when you hear my sweet girl in the background, when she said she wanted to earn extra income with AdvoCare, I said, great, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to put this date on your calendar. We're going to Success School in August, and leaders show up to go up. And that's sharing sharing the full message of AdvoCare, that we're not just going to do things occasionally, but we're going to participate in everything that AdvoCare truly has for us. And so that's important that we do that. The other thing that I would tell you, just leaving you with a story, is that we were able to eat breakfast one morning with Karen and Andy Edwards. And Andy was someone who loved his job. He worked in a chemical plant for 33 years, and he loved his job. And so for him, as his wife was earning this additional income, those things were great, but he had a six-figure income just working where he worked for 33 years. And so with that job, whenever his wife hit diamond as a diamond leader in AdvoCare and he had an opportunity to retire early, that Plan B income radically changed his life. Because like he said at breakfast that morning, he reached his hand across the table and he said, Rachel, I want to put this in perspective for you. I loved my job, but if loving my job was enough, then I wouldn't be here in this place, in this beautiful, gorgeous resort, eating breakfast here on the water and everything else with my wife. And my wife is the person that I treasure most. So if loving my job was enough, I would never be here. And so Plan B income can dramatically change your life 180 degrees. So make sure as leaders we are sharing the full message, believing with every ounce of what we are that you can fully do what it is that you're setting out to do, and that we understand that part of sharing the full message is sharing the importance of getting to big events like Leadership School. So I encourage you, my little nugget, and then I'll pass it on. The last thing I want to encourage you to do is have an intentional and purposeful week. This week, reaching out to your leaders that are close to qualifying silver in this 3-week pay period. This 3-week pay period, we're going to see a lot of people qualify for Leadership School. And so we want to share the full message with them. Guess what? By qualifying silver leadership, you will get invited to come to Leadership School at the end of April. And I know that you want to earn income in AdvoCare, and so we're going to get you there. Share the full message with passion and with strength, and you're really going to lift that lid for what the AdvoCare opportunity can do for everyone in your organization. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Lois and Laramie Gregory in Maryville, Tennessee.
All right, thank you, Rachel. This is Laramie Gregory, and I'm excited to talk to you tonight about building the bridge. We had a chance in Sydney to climb the Sydney Harbor Bridge, and it was absolutely amazing. It's one of the things that I definitely wanted to see when we got there, and getting the chance to not only see it but climb it was just an amazing experience. As we were getting ready to climb, they took us into a room, and it was almost like a little mini museum as we were learning about the bridge, getting ready to get busted up into the groups that were going to be climbing. I'll snap this picture on the right. And you know, a lot of times you look at a large structure like that bridge that's already finished, and you don't see the work that went into it. You don't see the design that went into it. You don't get to see the fine little details. And we got to see those small parts as we were climbing that bridge. And what impressed me was 3 different things in looking at that little museum. Number one, someone had to have the design in mind to join 2 land masses, to be able to have a vision to bring those two bodies of land together to span that bridge. Number 2 was desire. Someone had to make a design that could be able to overcome obstacles. There were a lot of rock and stone obstacles on both sides of that had to be considered whenever this bridge was being built. And we also heard about some of the complications as the bridge was being developed. And the last part is duplication. Whatever method that they came up with to start this bridge and to design it and to build it, ultimately they had to be able to duplicate that at every process, from laying the foundation to first laying down those initial pieces of the road to getting the high angle arches that you see there. Every part of that had to be duplicatable because someone on the other side that wasn't joined yet was doing the exact same thing. So everything had to be done in duplication. The thing that you don't see from the picture there on the left of all of us, you see the lights, you see the amazing structure there. It's huge. What you don't see are the rivets. And rivets are pieces of iron that are about 2 inches in diameter, and there are over 6 million rivets that hold this bridge together. And listening to our tour guide describe the importance of these rivets was just amazing, and it reminded me so much of building an Avocare business. These rivets, they would use these, they would heat them up to a really high temperature, and they would drive them through sheets of metal to make the sheets of metal hold together, and that's ultimately what holds that entire bridge together. So what I want to share with you are the 5 Gs of building your Avocare business. And these 5 Gs are like the rivets of your Avocare business. And just like those iron workers had to heat the rivets up, your passion is what is going to heat these 5 Gs up and eventually hold together your Avocare business. Passion is the heat in your business. So number one is get on product. If you're not on product, you need to be on product if you are trying to build an Avocare business. What makes this business so significantly different than any other business out there where you're selling a product is people are sharing an experience. They're sharing an experience, whether it's building a business or sharing an experience about the products, what they did in your life or what they're doing in someone else's life. That is so important. If your story is old, make a new story. Whitney Gladden, who is a diamond distributor in Mississippi, her story was just a little stale. She had lost weight, she had built a big business, and she said, it's time for me to develop a new story. And she started competing in fitness competitions and started looking at some of the performance products. So number one, you've got to get on product. Number two, get to advisor. Whether you make the upfront investment and place an advisor order, or whether you share your way to advisor over the course of those 3 pay periods. Doesn't matter which one you choose, but do both with passion and share both of those options with passion whenever you are working with people. Some people do not have the money flat out to make that investment. They have to know that there is a way that they can work there. They have to know that they can share their way to advisors. So know stories of people that have done that. Know stories of people also that just upfront made the investment and saw that this was a wise decision for them to build a business. Number three, get that rookie bonus. That is $500 free on top of what you were earning through the Avocare compensation plan. $500 extra for helping others get started on product and for helping others build a business. That $500 rookie bonus is such a crucial piece of your initial Avocare journey. If you are still eligible for that rookie bonus, let's get on the phone and talk about how we can help you earn that. Because if you're sharing with people about a compensation plan and you say, yeah, you know, that rookie bonus is there, but I didn't earn one, but I'll help you earn one, how much conviction are you really sharing about the ability to earn that rookie bonus? Make sure that people know that it's there, and do your best. If you are still eligible, get us on the phone and let's map out how you can earn that rookie bonus. Number four, this is where your passion shifts just a little bit to helping other people. We truly are a servant-based business. We are about leadership. So many times through our Avocare journey, I've heard that Avocare is a leadership company disguised as a vitamin company, and we truly are. Your first initial step into leadership is that silver level. So if you are helping people on your team do 1 through 3 and infusing passion and vision into what you can help them accomplish, you are going to get number 4. You are going to work your way to silver while helping everyone else on your team do 1 through 3. That initial step in getting to silver is so important because that's showing you the building blocks and building towards higher pin levels. What Lois and I do at a platinum level is the same thing that somebody at a silver level is doing. It's these initial steps, it's these 5Gs, it's using the success system, and it's creating momentum and driving passion through our organization. And number 5 is get to success goal. You can see that picture of the bridge, and it is an amazing structure, and to see it with your own eyes from that point right there in the harbor is truly something else. But when you get up inside the bridge and you put those little jumpsuits on, you strap on your harness, and you go through the tunnel, you start crawling over different parts of this bridge, over iron struts, through stairwells, up onto the road, and then you start climbing stair after stair after stair. Then you get to the top, and you see what is truly possible to see from that high vantage point. You see an amazing view of Sydney, an amazing view of Sydney Harbor. And that is the same thing that Success School does for you and your team when you get them there. It is one thing to sit back and see Advocare through the eyes of your team, through the eyes of these 3 distributorships that are on the call with you right now. It is a whole other thing to take someone to Success School. Let them see the intricate parts of this business through someone else's eyes. See people that struggled. See the journey and adversity that they had to overcome, and to see the point of view that someone who has had success in this business, to see that point of view of Advocare from that very high, lofty position is something that will change your perspective about what this company can do for you. And the view at the top is amazing. And like everyone else has shared so far, when you see that, you want to bring other people with you. So I'm going to kick it over to Lois, and she is going to finish this up.
So when so many people ask me, what was your favorite part, Lois, of the trip? You know, the scenery, absolutely amazing. Food, not so much. Not going to eat some kangaroo. But the scenery was amazing. The accommodations were wonderful. But getting to stand in front of that bridge with 2 of our teammates, knowing how many people that they have connected the dots for, how many people that they have built bridges for, brought them from the darkness into the light, from hopeless into hope, from desperation into surviving into thriving. That is what made my trip absolutely amazing. And so many of you saw this beautiful picture, woo, that Laramie captured as I was sitting on top of the mountain in Australia. And I sat there and I thought about all of you guys. And I thought about 3 years ago, how I felt like such an insignificant pebble, that if you were to throw me into the water, that I would create 2 little ripples and my effect would be over. Because as a teacher, I was working my tail off, pulling my hair out, thinking, is anyone listening to me? And I'm making a difference in anyone's life. I come home to my kids, I'm exhausted. My husband's working all of the time, and I felt insignificant. And with Advocare, I have the chance to not be a pebble, but I am a boulder. Because our yes has unlocked so many people's yeses, that has turned around and unlocked so many other yeses. And I sat up there from that beautiful view and just soaked it in, and I thought about your faces. I thought about Josh and Rachel Witt and how hard Rachel fought to save her husband, to fight for his medical care, and in turn fought for so many other families. To watch him having the time of his life, to watch him feeling so great. Oh, there's nothing sweeter than knowing that. To think about Ashley Shepherd when I met her, how she just wanted confidence. And to see her walking the streets hand in hand with her husband, that their marriage is stronger than ever because they have time together. And knowing how those 2 yeses have created a tidal wave, a gigantic ripple effect and out this country. And guys, guess what? You have the same opportunity to be that boulder. But you hear the word boulder. You have to be bold. Are you willing to get out and share what Advocare has to offer? Are you willing to get out from behind a spark canister, take a leap of faith, have 20 seconds of courage, and let people know how life can be different? That is the ripple effect that you have your hands on with this opportunity. And so as I close this down, I have to give one last plug for Leadership School. Because just like with an incentive trip, it's like going from a fishbowl to an aquarium. You see, we're only barely 3 years old. And when you go on a trip like that, or you step into Leadership School, and you are surrounded by people who've been doing Advocare for 10, 15, 17, 20 years, you can't help but walk away with a fire in your belly and a message in your heart, because it's not just enough for you to sit up on top of that beautiful hill and watch. You've got to go back, and you've got to build the bridge. So we still have a week and a day left in this pay period for those of you who are fighting for your seat in Leadership School.
to be in that room with the top 10% of the company, the people that strive to be boulders, the people that strive to be difference makers. And so if you're unsure of how to get there, please give us a call, because we want to fight for you. We want to work with you. We want to help you build that bridge so that you can have success and bring thousands of people with you. Guys, we love you so much, and we thank you for tuning in, because we would love nothing more than next year's Diamond Trip to take triple the number of people that we did this year. Go out there, get it, work hard, and have a great night.